that kind of abuse. I did not come here for that kind of abuse. If you're going to go down that road, I'll walk off.
But it's all okay once they're talking. If they were talking, I could not have been here today.
You got ADHD.
I got that.
Calm down.
I think I've done enough in terms of taking our team out of trouble from losing.
Come on, Lou Taylor. You got script. I'm reading the script now, and the first person that comes to my mind to play a detective,
yes,
but an erratic detective, Mickey Rodriguez.
Why you not freaking slapping in young? Why a man and slap a woman? Look, how you deal with that? You deal with that.
We must encourage platforms like this because it brings together different people and allows for discussions to take place in our country on a multiplicity of fundamental issues.
Gildarie, you apologizing for something you think I did is wrong. I don't want you to do that, and you should not have done that. Hello there, wherever you are. Welcome to the Freddie Kissoon Gildarie Show with co-host Akash Persaud. Very, very pleasant and enjoyable Phagwah evening to you. Phagwah is one of Guyana's most celebrated festivity. It needs no introduction in terms of what it is. It's been with Guyana historically. It's part of the Hindu religion that the indentured servants brought to Guyana, along with other festivities, other observances like Diwali, and it has remained with us. It is one of the important holidays in Guyana's calendar. We have this evening with us to discuss Phagwah, the origins of it, the importance of it, shifting shape of the celebration of Phagwah over the years. Now, our guest has been around the Hindu culture and the Hindu religion for a long time, 40 years. So he will take us through the trials, tribulations, success, and the glory of this important day in the calendar of Guyana, of course, of the Hindus, but of Guyana too, because Phagwah is a Guyana celebration. Don't forget that. Don't be sectarian and say a holiday that is celebrated by a section of Guyana. It's a national holiday. And when I was growing up, I came from a very strong Hindu family, my mother and father. When I was growing up, everybody played Phagwah in Wortmanville in South Georgetown. Blacks, Indians, Portuguese, and I think it has remained like that. But welcome to Akash, my co-host, and we will start with a description of Phagwah, what it means to the Hindu fraternity, the Hindu religion. Our guest this evening is Pandit Rabrindranath Persaud, but he is known as Pandit Ravi. In fact, everybody who has encountered him over the past 40 years calls him or refer to him as Pandit Ravi. 40 years in the making, so we have some history to tell here. What do I say? Namaste?
Namaste.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste and happy Holi.
Happy Holi to everybody too.
It's really a pleasure having someone with that kind of experience on Phagwah this evening. Panditji, you've been a pandit in the 80s, to put it down specifically 1985. That's 40 years ago. What were your experience in the celebration of Phagwah? You would have been very young then, and you would have immersed yourself as a person, as a young pandit. Take us through that history.
Thank you very much, Freddie, for having me on this program. It's always been a pleasure talking to the nation. And those of you who are viewing this program, I would like you to stay until it is completed. We have a lot to tell you. Listen, Phagwah has originated in India. It has origination there, and it was brought to Guyana by our foreparents. As a little boy growing up, we thought it was a Hindu festival, because little boy growing up, most of the things that were done was what we call in a sattvic way, meaning that in the home the mother will clean like a week before, clean up, preparing this place, whitewashing the yard, setting up the environment, preparing this environment for this beautiful. It was mostly considered at that time as a religious thing, because they're talking about Phagwah being dedicated to the feminine aspect of God, Saraswati Mata, and the mother will only come into your home when the home is clean, because she's an embodiment of purity and cleanliness. So you're surrounded, and the environment had to be absolutely clean, because this is what they believe, and they have faith in that the presence of the mother would be in your home. Apart from that, look at the long preparations. Everything was done with your physical hands. Phagwah, in those days, everything was done. The making of the pera, the making of the parsa, the making of the laddu, and everything was done at home. It is not commercialized like today. You go and buy a box here and buy, but because the Phagwah was about sharing. And you only could share what was created by you, because Saraswati was considered to be the creatrix energies of the universe. So what we do, the mothers will involve us in the preparation for Phagwah, and so the abrak, the powder, the everything, it was so well organized that the entire neighborhood, whether people were Muslims, whether they were Christians, whether it was like the entire village would come together as one big family to celebrate this occasion. Not only that, in those days you were preparing chowtals from the time the holika was planted, and you have a 40 days. 41 days, to be exact, you have 41 days from the time of planting of holika to Phagwah Day. That 41 days, it was not like now, you're playing Phagwah a day before. It's like weeks before. People are involved in this activity, weeks before. And the chanting of chautas, biraha, ulara, and all these were happening. As a little boy growing up, I could remember fetching the jals for the old men that were clapping the drums, singing the chautal. And so I learned it from them. It was not something that, I picked up a book. I could tell you what is a biraha, I could tell you what is a jogira, I could tell you what is a ulara, I could tell you all the chautals, I could describe them, because this is what I have learned from the older folks. So it came down to us, and it's different now. As you're talking about the transition, it is so different now. So when you had Phagwah in the olden days, one night I will come and sing at your home, another night the group comes sing at my home, another night go in him. So actually every home in the village that embraced this custom, they welcome. There was food sharing. I must tell you this, it was a lot of young people also were involved. While the older people were doing the bhajans, doing the chautals, a lot of young people, they were observing this. So we have learned from them. So I want to let you know that Phagwah was something well accepted in the community. On the Phagwah Day itself, we go to mandirs, because in the olden days they say, okay, water in the morning, and then you go to mandir and powder in the afternoon. It's not like powder whole day. Water in the morning, then powder in the afternoon, and abrak, and so. And we still go. One of the things is very much missing today is the house visit, where we were supposed to still have this kind of singing, chanting, so because it strengthens the fabric of the community.
Pandit, you must have known his father, Akash, the co-host. His father was a well-known Pandit, somebody who was a friend of mine. So Akash has become a Muslim, but he would have grown up in the Hindu religion. So I'll give over to him now.
Panditji, and as much as as much as Freddie mentioned, I'm a Muslim. That is just a change of faith, but my heart remains, open and open. My father was a very open-minded person too.
I know.
Yeah. But you touched on something there when you talk about the youngsters being out. When I used to sing with the Amardeep Ramayana, which was a very vibrant force that sings Chautal and Ramayana. And my little son, who is right now in working in background in the camera room, he, as a little child from 4 years old, I used to take him with me. And you mentioned that the thing seems to fade away. I remember there were so many places we used to gotta go sing that sometimes you said we can't make it, and then they find out, well, by this year here we only got 2 persons for going to sing by. It has really diminished. What has caused that, Panditji?
Our Chautal goal in Annandale, I was born in Lesotho, grown up in Annandale. And Annandale had one of the most vibrant Chautal groups. As a matter of fact, we won the Chautal competition at Gandhi Youth. We won it at Mahasabha. We won it so many places. And the group was so big at that time, that we had to divide it in 3 parts to send some here, some there, and some there, because it was over 40. And people, in those days, I want to be very honest with you, in those days, it was not easy to entertain 40 people. Because there were no flour, there were no this, there were no potato, so you can't make aloo bal or potato bal for 40 people. Young people, because young people eat quite a lot.
Big appetite.
Right, big appetite. So what we had to do was to break the group in 3 and say the girls go over there in the middle age, and we mix it up. So and at the same time, it was good for us because we were visiting more people. But now we have lost that.
Yes.
We have lost that because if I ask some people to sing Chautal now, it's only 2 or 3 Chautals they will know what they have learned, like Gokula Biche or Shiva Shankar, Dina Dayal. Those 2 or 3 Devi Sharad, most. Yeah. But in our days, we had to know about 20 Chautal. Yeah, everything. Right? So you could see actually it's fading away. I noticed the Cummins Lodge group has a very good, vibrant group now. I've listened to them very recently, and they have a very strong, young, vibrant Chautal group.
I played Chautal. I sang Chautal at Gandhi Youth in 1975 when I was a second-year student at UG. I don't know if Gandhi Youth still have the Chautal thing, but a couple of us would come down from UG after classes during Phagwah and play Chautal at Gandhi Youth. I can remember that.
Dr. Balwant Singh was there then. Dr. Balwant Singh was the head of the Gandhi Youth then.
That's 1975.
We won it in 1976.
The Gandhi Youth organization, unfortunately, is not such a big and vibrant group as it used to be before. It's not so big. Pandit, there was to go into the start of it, and you spoke about the 40 days preceding Phagwah, and it starts with the planting of the Holika. Now, there was some really strong significance, religious significance, astrological significance, and all of that when it comes to the planting of the Holika. And I remember it used to be this little castor oil plant that they used to do this, plant this Holika. We have a video of what the Holika, burning of the Holika looks like, but in order for us to reach that point, it will be very nice for you to tell us the significance and the genesis of the Holika and why.
Could we see it first, and then he could comment on it?
Sure.
Yeah, let's. How long is it?
It's just a minute.
Okay. Good, Panditji. You want to tell us about...
Yeah, the question which was asked is, you must understand that Hindu Dharma is divided in what you may call the Vedanta and the Puranic. There are two set of texts or injunctions that guides a Hindu. I will put it in this way. The Vedas were made for the developed mind, and the underdeveloped mind was for the Puranas, because some people were not is not adequate enough to grasp science, to understand the science and so forth. And so, like in school days, we were taught stories, and the morals of the stories we would have kept us going. So the Puranas were stories born out of the mind of the saints and sages, and the Puranas is different from the Vedas. But nevertheless, both subscribe to the evolution of the Hindu lives. In the what we call Holika, the planting of the Holika. Remember, this Holika Dahan introduces the spring festival. So Holi is related to Basant. Basant is spring. So spring, in the season of spring, you will see a lot of life coming into being. You will see more mobility, more flowers blooming, crops coming, and so on. Because spring actually expresses freedom. And that is the reason why they plant they put a plant in the earth, because the plant there is a symbol of the vegetative aspect of the universe. Not only that, because the plant would have extract what you may call the fertility from the earth, so as to allow it to grow. That fertility is considered to be what you call Yadevi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupi Sanstita, the energy of the mother. So they put it now today, with the introduction of spring, that plant is placed. Mm-hmm. Today we are talking about environmental development, and we are talking about carbon and all these things. And this was born out of the mind of the saint, the sages, and the highly evolved souls. Thousands of years ago. And so I could remember very well our former president was given champion of the earth. Based on that, his contribution to environmental development. Nevertheless, we're talking about that is a separating from the burning of Holika. Mm-hmm. Burning of Holika, the sister of Hiranyakashipu, name was Holika. Mm-hmm. And burning of the Holika was burning evil. Mm-hmm. But it was not, the plant was not supposed to be burned. Mm-hmm. We make the mistake sometimes to put a plant and say we are burning the Holika, but no. According to the Vedas, plant was supposed to grow, expand, and create a better environment for all of us, a healthier environment. But the Puranas, they put us Holika, a woman is being established in there, and who is an embodiment of evil, to be destroyed so that we can have peace established in earth.
But there's a connection to the story with Prahalad.
Yeah, I know about that story.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we can talk about that story, but you asked specific about the planting of Holika and this one. It's two separate things.
Wow.
One is deal with with spring, which comes out or has its origin in the Vedas, and this one here is from the Puranas. But so it coincides.
Wow.
Let's you've been singing during the Phagwah season. We've got a clip with you singing here. Let's show our viewers.
Yeah, I think it's a
bhajan.
Holy bhajan.
Holy is a beautiful bhajan dedicated to the Supreme Lord of the universe.
यारी मात पिता बंधनारी जग में प्रभु की स्वार्थ यारी नहीं परलोक हो हितकारी नहीं परलोक हो हितकारी सबसे होई जुदाई प्रभु जी तेरा तुम बिन कौन सहाय प्रभु जी तेरा तुम बिन कौन सहाय तुम बिन कौन सहाय तुम बिन कौन सहाय प्रभु जी तेरा तुम बिन कौन सहाय प्रभु जी तेरा तुम बिन कौन सहाय मालिक जाना महल चुबारे कोई न जावे संग हमारे मालिक जाना महल चुबारे कोई न जावे संग हमारे चल चल जावे भोगन हारे चल चल जावे भोगन हारे जग में तीर नराई प्रभु जी तेरा तुम बिन कौन प्रभु जी तेरा तुम बिन कौन तुम बिन कौन तुम बिन कौन
Panditji, when I see you singing that bhajan, brings back memory of my Hindu days. And my mother, now I've become a Philistine. But why you choose that bhajan? Where was that done? You can sing.
I did that in
Yes,
the Mandir.
yes,
I
you can
did that
sing.
in the Mandir at Alexander Village. I grew up in an environment which you were forced, actually inspired to do that. Where Ostar Ramdhani, who was one of the Caribbean's best dholak player, was from my village. Vincent Morgan, one of the best Ragni, was attending my mandir. Sugrim Samaru, Anandale. There were countless of musicians, the best tasamen we had in there. So we were exposed to that from very small age. And sitting in the mandir and listening to Vincent Morgan, listening to Ramdhani playing dholak, teacher Samaru and his father and Vasil Bihar and all of these people, Bridgemoor. It was really something, it was a gift bestowed upon us. So actually Annandale had quite a lot of good, talented musicians, dholak players, tantal players, tabla players, and so forth. As a matter of fact, I was playing the dholak before I became a singer. I was a dholak player.
And both your sons are accomplished dholak players.
My son played on that.
Both your sons, yes.
Yeah, my son played the dholak there just now.
You singing?
Yes,
Yeah.
Aditya.
Okay.
So all three of them, as a matter of fact, the small one, Anant won the first in Kala Utsav when Prakash Gosai was the judge for national singing competition. All three of them could sing, all three could play harmonium, all three could play music.
So they're following the tradition of their father.
Actually, they like it too. I think
You think any one of them going to become a pandit?
Aditya?
Aditya does it quite a lot. Yeah, quite a lot.
Okay, so we're going to have He hasn't become he's not a pandit, is he?
Yeah, he does satsang at the mandir, and so when I'm not there officially, he does a TV program. He does everything.
You must be one of Guyana's longest practicing pandits. If you were ordained in 1985, that's about 40 years ago, and 50% of this nation is 18 and under. 75% is between 40 to 45. So a lot of Guyanese weren't born when you enter the kingdom of Hindu Dharma.
I must say the word ordained is not the right word.
Right,
here.
I know. That's a Christian
It's
thing.
right. It's
yeah.
not the right word.
Yeah,
but,
I told you I'm a Philistine.
I know.
Yeah.
But I must let the credit for me being in this domain, so to speak, must be given to Pandit Ravi Persaud. As a little boy, my grandfather was a pandit, my father pandit, my chacha pandit. But we were in the not confined to the village, but in and around the village. My grandfather was a vice president of the Mahasabha when Pandit Ravi Persaud was the general secretary. So we grew up in a pandit family, but to given the exposed to go into Suriname, to go into Trinidad, to get on the television, to get on the radio, to write books, to do everything, to manage some of the affairs, the cultural affairs like motorcade and so forth. Pandit Ravi Persaud was a person who would have inspired me, who would have created that opening so that I could have done what I'm doing. There are many doors that were open, but they would not be, given you the opportunity to grow like the one that was given to me by Pandit Ravi Persaud.
I think once you mention Hinduism in Guyana and the role of pandits, his name comes up.
Of course.
What one will call an icon in that particular area. What are your memories of playing Phagwah? Is there any particular year? Because we're talking about 40 years as a pandit, and then you would have played Phagwah before then as a boy.
Yeah, of course.
What you would say are the most pleasant moments in your Phagwah history?
When you don't know the significance of things and you jump into something, you go enjoy yourself without knowing what is the significance. I think that's one of the best things. We used to push boys in trench. We used to swim half day, rub mud, do all kinds of things because Phagwah give you the freedom to do what you want. On Phagwah day, you no licks. Your parents would not beat you to swim over in the trench, would not allow beat you to do anything. You could do as much as you wanted on Phagwah day. So as a little boy, it was celebrated differently. When we start to understand the story of Hiranyakashipu and Bhakt Prahalad, it was started to celebrate it more meaningfully. More meaningfully, because now we're looking at, Satya, that Prahalad was a devoted person. Prahalad was an affectionate person. Prahalad never resisted his father, although his father was violent, towards him. He never raised his hand in his parents, and we learned that as a little boy. We've grown. Our parents, we should not. They could beat you, they could talk to you, they could scold you, but you were not supposed to be doing this. We took that from the story of Prahalad. Because Prahalad today, without Prahalad, Phagwah is not celebrated. You understand? He believed in the truth. He believed that there is something. He believed that his father has limits. We have our limitations. We're not here, will not be here forever. We are subjected to all the pairs of opposites. And so Prahalad knew his father was not God. And so while he respected his father, he knew that there was a higher intelligence more than Hiranyakashipu. And you know that, and I know that. The highest of all intelligence is nature. Nobody can win nature's intelligence. Everything functions out of nature's intelligence, and that maybe you choose your position. You chose your position to be what you are.
As a Philistine.
So it was different then as a little boy. Then we grew up in the mandirs singing chowtals, playing drums, doing this and that. And then at one time, we have what you call Phagwah Sammelans. seminars and sammelan. There's competition with Chautal groups
Right.
at village level or maybe East Coast level, then at national level, regional and national level. And the Guyana Hindu Dharmic Sabha will have also contributed very, very much to that, to sustain it. The Mahasabha, the Gandhi Youth, all of them in the three major organizations in those days, they would have organized Chautal Sammelan, which would have been included people, young people countrywide to be involved in this process. So whilst we were willing to go into the field of music and Chautals, and so remember, you want this little pride to show off. So wonder who will compete with us. So Anandil will compete with Lusiklan. Lusiklan compete with Bedahoop, and then the things becomes a national thing. Gandhi youth say, okay, this could be very useful for us. Mahasabha say, okay, it could be very useful for us. Dharmic Sabha say, yes, this could be useful for us. So the organizations took it.
Wait, Panditji, you don't have Chautal competition between districts anymore?
No, I don't think you have.
That's a loss, man.
Yeah, it's a loss. There's no competition. They have what you call Sammelan. And I can tell you of my own, because when I was in a part of the Chautal Sammelan, so to speak, we used to have like 15, 20 groups on the East Coast alone. Now, if you have 4 or 5, it's quite a lot. People would not be, singing 2 or 3 Chautals, and then you hear the whole day Rangabarse. Rangabarse, actually Bollywood took over. There's no Biraha, there is no Jogira, you understand? Or very few, very, very few. So we, and sometimes some people say, this is where we were and this is where we are. And so we have grown. But I am saying, no, we have not grown. We have lost quite a lot.
Well, it has to be a loss if you and they're competing with better. But look. There are some very, very influential Hindu organizations in Guyana. There's a minister of culture. I mean, they should be able to do something with it. It all depends on incentives. You can't ask people to travel when they have to work and go to Amandale to sing Chautal. It has to be an incentive. Shouldn't the senior pandits and the Hindu organizations get together and have a talk with the Minister of Culture?
I think it is very, very important for us to sustain this culture and to keep it going. For example, in this country, I will tell you now, as I'm very sure about it. In the olden days, I could have pointed my hand to about 20 or 30 Rag Ragni singers. Like the days in my growing up a little
30.
More. I could point my hand to more, much more.
No, it's what, 5?
There's 2, maybe 2.
No, but that has to be declining in Hindu culture in Guyana.
Of course, you got to be speaking.
I'm glad we're having this program.
Yeah, because in my days, you would have like Ostad Ramdhani, I remember Bhallu, Gunwa, Devdat Sharma, and you have Balneen, so many, hundreds from Burbi, Sasikib, all over the place. When you have Yagnas, 13, 14, 15 men, Dasrat Mangru,
No, Panditji, that's sad.
all of them,
sad.
Ratan would come and sing. Ask some now for one. It may be very difficult to have one person of those caliber.
There was a man, just to interject here, there was a man by the name of Balgobin Kawal.
Balgobin Kawal, right in...
Is there any Kawali singers now in Guyana?
Balgobin Kawal was his second B team with Tua, I'm talking, because Balgobin Kawal, Mohan Nandu, Govind Ram, Basdev, they fall in one category.
Wow.
So even those like Balgobin Kawal and Mohan Nandu, we are losing now.
Akash, we have any Chautal?
Yes, we have a Chautal.
Chautal is so nice.
And before, there is one gentleman, I can tell you this for a fact. I don't know how old is this man. He's probably in his 80s. His name is
We should have had some dal.
Right? Yeah, so we can sing a Chautal at the end of this, right?
We have the dal. We have the dal.
Jal.
We have the jal.
He like dal, that's why I said dal, right?
Maybe the Freudian slip. Yeah, the jal.
But listen, this video that we're going to be playing has Parbu, Satan, and Uncle Naresh, who is another guy, these two men have been taking this tradition, have been taking hold, and they're trying to push this thing. So, and Parbu is
since I'm a little boy, I know Parbu.
Yes, and he
Do
one
you
of the
know
best.
Parbu is one of the oldest party card holder of the People's Progressive Party? You got to look at the fact. He has to be one of 3 or 1 of 4. He may be the longest party card holder. I've known him when I was 10.
So this is Chautal singing,
And I know
featuring
about 100.
featuring Parbu.
Parbu's there?
Yes, this is Parbu here. Look at the mouth. That's Parbu, and Uncle Naresh over here.
That's Chautal. The best part of Phagwah for me. It's so unfortunate we didn't have the jal, but we could.
No, you can clap. You can clap too. Yeah, you can clap, right?
So, Pandit, how was the Hindu culture in general withstand the modern age of the world in Guyana? You've been around a long time. You satisfied that Hindu culture in Guyana is alive, thriving, and has a short future?
I genuinely believe so. While we would have lost some of the traditional things, the way of life is intact. The way of life is intact, and I'm happy to know that sometimes during the occasions like Deepavali, Navratri, Ramnavami, Janmashtami, the mandirs are still, they're very much populated, so to speak, with hundreds of people, for young people, especially in the nights. You will have satsang. You come to my area in Alexander Village. In Navrat, you will have 200 or 300 people coming out to the mandirs, and not only that, they're contributing too. They're contributing, and once people are contributing, subscribing to it, it will always grow as well. You have mentioned a very, very important point. Over the years, our older folks, they used to have incentives from like the professional people, the organization, to travel, to do this and to sing and so on. They were well paid when they go to a yagna. So those who like Uncle Ramdhani, Uncle Dasrat, Mohit, all of those people. But now, everybody has to go into their pockets to do things. And it is something which is very difficult, is very challenging when we want to promote these things, because if I have to ask a pandit to come here today, he has to come off his own expense. If he has to go 3 or 4 places, his own expenses. So, and the same thing like me, today whole day I've been all over the place. So sometimes you may not find people who are adequate or sufficient enough financially to do these things. So we have quite a lot of talents out there. A lot of talents, and if they're being given the push, so to speak, the backing, so to speak, we can do miracles and wonders in this country, because some of the other, I am very frank here, some of the other people, what you may call cross-section of people, they're being given opportunity to do their own, promote their own cultural thing, their ancestral heritage and what they would have inherited. And for the Hindus, I think we need much more.
Absolutely.
To do that, to do it. So once we have that, we can still pool our resources together and come and go again. I could tell you now, in this country, I've said it just now and I'm saying it again, there are very few or maybe 1 or 2 genuine Ragni singers. They are what you will see, what they call Ragni now is chutney things. Is chutney, is not rag. Don't make anybody
no tan singers.
No tan. In tan, you have Drupad, you have Tilana, you have Dandak, you have Tumri, you have Belwa, you have Ghazal, you have all these.
There are many dynamics to build that.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have what time of the day a song will be sung, what song will be sung when somebody has a birthday, what rag when somebody is joyous, what rag is when somebody died. There are different ragas for different things. I know, I'm telling you something, maybe I'm one of the only person who could remember those things. I'm telling you, there's no boasting. If you ask me what is a Tumri, I will tell you. If you ask me what the Dandak, I will tell you. Tilana, I will tell you. I will tell you. Even a Sohar, how to sing a Sohar. Because I have learned that from the older folks, and it is not available now for younger people. Younger people, even they sing Chaupais in Bollywood style.
I wonder if we will run into copyright problems. But one of the things that has stuck in my mind forever as growing up in the Hindu religion in my family is a movie of a holy scene by Rajesh Khanna and Asha Parikh named Kati Patang.
I saw that.
I wonder, would we be running into copyright if we show that Phagwah dance?
Yes.
That was so...
There are quite a few movies that have Phagwah songs and dance. Sholay has, Kati Patang has, Silsila has.
We're going to get into copyright.
Yeah, but we can't do that. But I'm telling you, Bollywood did make some contribution to Indian culture, but I'm talking about what our foreparents brought here would have diluted.
Yeah, the actual culture.
Yeah.
And that's because of the potpourri of. But before Akash come in, I'm going to ask you to tread on thin ice here. So just ignore me if you think. Is it the money from Hindu business people are not forthcoming to keep these things going?
I think there are a lot of programs being sponsored. If you look at television. Whether it's NT and NC and all the television stations, are businessmen doing it. It's being sponsored. I can tell you, a lot of businessmen still, they are willing to contribute towards this. But one of our problem, again, I could tell you, is not while people are willing to contribute, you have to have the willingness to learn too.
That's right.
The willingness to learn, because sometimes the young mind, if you look at the kids going to school now, from lessons, this and their whole time, life has been occupied by academic. When I used to go to school, when the bell hit at 3 after, you're a free man. You play your cricket, you go to mandir, you go to masjid, you do everything. Now the child comes home from school, is at home in front of laptop and a teacher tutoring lessons.
Till 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock in the night. Where would that child get the time, the break to go and learn something? Where? And I'm sure that in our days, apart from school and that, we have our little kitchen garden, we have little goat, sheep, cows to look after. We were doing things. Now the children go to school, and even Saturday and Sunday, if I want to talk to my grandkids, they're taking lessons on the computer. So what happened? You ask them to be involved in culture is when they finish school and they become a failure, then they take them into culture.
Pandit, in 1989, I was 88, 89, I was a student at the Indian Culture Center, and I was tutored by a man called Pandit Ravi Kangar Sant out of Gujarat, and he taught me to play Basuri. And you talk about rag, it jogged my memory. There's still one rag that I remember, a rag called Bhupali, which is very significant around this time. It's a spring festival rag, and I still remember that rag, Sargam for Sargam. But here's what I want to ask you, Pandit. On a national level, one of the most celebrated festivals in this country is Phagwah. When you look at the celebration that happens in Albaiston, it is huge. Phagwah is celebrated. But have we really lost the true essence of Phagwah at the national level, or where do you stand on this?
I want to believe. Listen, there is no problem with anybody celebrating Phagwah, because Phagwah has a universal message.
Absolutely.
For everybody. So to say, like Freddie would have mentioned before, Phagwah is a Hindu one and not a Christian. No, it's out of it. Years ago, we used to have that kind of approach. People say, don't throw powder. Now, things are turning around, because people understand the significance of Phagwah, and they know that it is a time for joy, it's a time for sharing, it is a time for, renewed friendship. It's a birth of the Hindu New Year, so to speak. We are in 2081. Pingala is the name of this year. Right, 57 years ahead on the English calendar. So it's celebration of the Hindu New Year. If you don't want to take it as a religious thing, it's a New Year. If you don't want to take it as a religious thing, it's an event of spring. So people are involving, they're enjoying themselves, they're playing. Nothing wrong with that. I am happy to see different people approach, and even if they have to dominate it, it doesn't matter for me, because it is a festival that is promoting or inspiring to do that. So I want to congratulate people for coming out to celebrate not only Phagwah or Deepavali, but all the other festivals. Now look, this year, for example, the first time in the history of Guyana, we have what they call a Ramadan village, right? And which is something that I'm encouraging people. They should go see what is up, because we are learning every day. You have to learn. We have never been taught as a little child to stay away from this religion. When I was a little boy, I went to Clapham school, and I'm sure as a little boy I could tell you Alif, Bet, Te, Se, Ke, Jim, He, Ke, Dal, Zal, Ain, Dain. My mother used to send us to
Madrasa.
To madrasa. So we grow with that. So why is it now you want to tell people, Muslim is different from Christian, and Christian is different from Hindu, and Hindu is different from the atheist, and the atheist is different from Freddie? How is that? We are all the same. Atmasarva bhutesho yaha pashati sa pashati, means he alone sees, who sees himself in everybody. That is the message of Hindu Dharma. He alone sees, who sees himself in everybody. And if you start seeing yourself in everybody, there is no way you will fight.
As a reflection.
Right?
There was, continue. There was what?
So what we are seeing now is one of the things that whilst you're gaining on one way, sometimes we are losing on the other side. Now, for example, you have one big program at the stadium, Phagwah Day. nothing I can convince you on that day that will transpire is merriment, joy, singing. Although they may say no alcohol beverage, it will have there. As long as they say no this, it will be. And listen, there is no limited time will be given for any person who would sing a traditional Phagwah song. Everything will be chutney, everything will be Bollywood, everything will be the Trinity. So that is also killing and slaughtering our tradition. Some people think it is good. It is good. We're bringing people together, but it is bad on the other side, slaughtering Hindu dharma and the culture.
You're losing the intrinsic value of the culture.
Right. You're losing the value there.
Is it possible that a group of very, very well-placed Hindu priests, pandits, can approach the Ministry of Culture, because that is the raison d'etre, the French term, reason for existence. That is the raison d'etre of the Ministry of Culture, to support African culture, to make sure the masquerade bands are on the road, to support to support culture in general, and the bhajan competition has to be a devastating loss, because I know about those things. I used to play Chowtal at Gandhi Youth, refugee in the night. And
I know the government is the president, of course. They will hold key functions. For example, in Deepavali, we had function in Skelton, which was very well attended, bringing group from Suriname and interacting with Guyanese. It was a beautiful program. And they do have small pockets of like those again, like at State House and other people. But remember, at State House and those other small places, the venue is small, you will not capture. The only thing that will, television will highlight what is transpiring, which is very good. But people want to be involved. And the only way we can get back our children to be a part of this activity is when you place the jal in their hands themselves. When you go to the mandir, you give the child a jal in their hand. As soon as they come back, they go and pick up their jal. They go and pick up their dantal. They know this is taking them. And after a time, they become competitive again with each other, and they grow. But if you're going to put everything at one place, 4 men going to sing, and the whole crowd going to dance one kind of way, we have nothing to gain out of that.
Who sponsors that thing?
I don't know. I don't know.
Pandit, recently we had Professor David Davidin on this program, and we spoke about indentureship and so on. And you're talking about all this, and my mind can only go on those boats with our foreparents coming and carrying the tradition, these rich traditions with them in their bosom, and coming here with it. And now to show that it should have been an honor for us to preserve the rich culture that these people brought with them. And I think that what Mr. Kissoon is saying is that there should be a body indeed that comes together to say, listen, let's put a body together that we're going to start going back to see how we can preserve this, let me call it ancient tradition, because it's thousands of years old, that came from Bihar. Bhojpuri is gone from Guyana. There is no Bhojpuri anymore. And perhaps
I'm a Philistine. What's Bhojpuri?
Bhojpuri is the language for which our foreparents used to use. It was not pure Hindi. Aao bhaiya, jao bhaiya, beta, beti.
Some words still exist. My grandmother in SK, who's still alive, she said she still said bartan. She still said chadar. Bartan is utensils. Chadar is the covering that you use.
So that language is gone. To converse, talk to each other in Hindi or Bhojpuri is lost.
And your thoughts on the future of this, Pandit?
And Suriname is very gone. Rich in Suriname.
Yes, very rich. Bhojpuri still
in Suriname
exists in Suriname. As a matter of fact, there are some young guys in Suriname that sings tan. They call it Baitak Gana.
Yeah, Baitak Gana.
Right, and it's Freddie, this thing is so rich, it's so traditional, it seems as if there was just a short time between the foreparents came until what it is now.
One of the things we need to understand that with music, right? any form of music, if you don't understand what you're saying or singing, you cannot express it properly.
Yes.
And the Suriname will always do it better than us because they know exactly
They understand
what
language.
they're singing in the language. If I show you my bhajan book, it is written in Hindi. And anybody sing a bhajan, I could tell you whether they know to sing or not, because once you start to sing it in the English book, I know I could pick you up immediately. The reason why I can tell you, because in the alphabet, in the Hindi alphabet, it has something to do with your own system. For example, certain words you call comes nasal, gutturals, palatals, dentals, labials. They have to come from certain part of your mouth. If it doesn't come from the song puhar man, puhar is Bhojpuri.
You know puhar? You know puhar mean?
Puhar mean
I think I told you I'm a Philistine.
not authentic. It sounds very, very, bad. Poor.
There, you can't help it watching. As someone who come from a Hindu family, I couldn't give my daughter any other name except a Hindu name. Her name is we call it in Guyana Kavita, but it's Kavita. Hindu word meaning poet. But you can't help thinking if you love architecture and you love culture, there's a lovely mosque on Church Street. And the Brigham Cathedral is very nice. You don't see a similar beautiful temple. Where are these nice temples that could compete with Christian and Muslim architecture? Have you seen any?
Come to Alexander Village. You'll see a traditional mandir.
There is one.
I know it's like past.
There is one in Gay Park, Berbice, also.
That's a modern one.
Yes. Yeah.
But the one that was brought, the older ones that were constructed in Guyana, I thought one was at Lenora, one is at Alexander Village, one is Skeldon, and I think Better Hope has the wrong shape too. These are the mandir that came with
There's
the
one in
eight-sided.
West Bank, I think Nimes.
Yeah.
I have a rare book called Temples and Mosques in the 18th century in Guyana. Temples and Mosques, 18th, 19th century. Very, very rare book. And it's interesting to see how when the indentured come, how they build those mosques. I think the Alexander one that you preside over is one of the oldest in Guyana.
Yes, very old. Very old. Yeah, no concrete structure, but it was designed in that way. Freddie, coming back to Phagwah, because we're straying a little.
Yes,
I want to talk about.
Well, you're a Hindu pandit.
Yeah, I want to talk about this festival. Sometimes we over celebrate it. And you were talking about the social or the cultural aspect of it. Everything in Hindu Dharma, all the festivals do have both sides. We have the social side or the culture side, and they have the spiritual. I would say culture and spiritual go on one hand. Because in Hindu Dharma, when we talk about culture, that culture means that which allows your divine inherent potential to put to full use. Maximum use. That's what culture means. It's not that we have a culture presentation and you have Ravi D and this day and Sundar Popo and thing. That's not culture for us. Culture is when you explore your divine potential to the fullest. When you want to know what your real purpose is, and you start to go into that direction, your purpose of existence, and that is what is culture. And these are things that our foreparents would have brought that held them together. The culture, cultural aspect came from deep within. It was not something that they just held like this and pass it on. It was something that they considered very, very, very sacred, and they kept it. For example, even the Roman, they used to put it in a garment and tie it. Their jal, they close it, put it in something like, they wouldn't scatter it like the modern people and put one here, put there, and anyhow. The drum will stand up on the right side. They believe in those things. So culture is that which allows us to grow, and we kept it very sacred and very, very dear and near to us. On the other hand, the social side is very important too. The social side is where we're going to have our family, friends coming home, coming over. Then we say, okay, Freddie, come by me this afternoon. You come for dinner, come and then we prepare a thing and you share around. That's a social aspect of it. We love that too. And then sometimes the social aspect gone overboard. Oh, you take a drink. then you take a drink. And then one of our old pandits, Pandit Sama, would have mentioned that alcohol was made out of tree blood. And I said, well, Panditji, well, you got to explain it. Pandit Sama was one of the oldest pandits in this country. He was a Dharmacharya. And I think he was the first parliamentarian ever in this country as a Pandit Hindu priest. He was from Korean Park. He said, man, Pandit, the thing make a tree blood. I said, well, you got to explain it to me. He said, well, the thing first make it, parrot blood. So I said, why parrot blood? He said, yeah, man, as it take 2 drinks, they start talk. And then they start repeating the thing over and over, like parrot. It doesn't make sense. And then they see their eyes start blinking, and there's a monkey blood. And then after that, they gone into the pig blood, into the drain, and they start fight within themselves. So that part of the social side is not good for us, where you bring families together and you start to overdo. Because some people feel, well, the social side, this is a time where we have to really go to have enough of this, have enough of that, and drink, and then they go overboard. There has to be a point where you don't go beyond.
I agree.
There has to be a point where you don't go beyond, a point which will, whilst it is social, it is, everybody should have their head on. But what is happening now with the younger generation, you look at Phagwah will be tomorrow, the next day, you look at the roads, see how many accidents going to happen. I'm not praying for that, wishing for that, but it's a fact. But the fact is that people going overboard with the celebration, and they're overdoing the thing.
I know there was a comical, a hilarious thing to that. When I was growing up in Dublin Street in Whitmanville, we used to throw water on anybody passing, and that thing was shocking and irritating. You can't throw water on people.
No, well,
passing.
That's the reason I'm saying here today. As going back to the point, if somebody don't like something, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't push people in the drain.
That thing was
we
crazy.
shouldn't put water, mud water, and put people in trenches and all these things. It is not a good thing. It's not a healthy thing. It should be avoided at all. And I believe if somebody do it, put somebody in trench, you should get the police involved.
No, that's going far. I know as boys we used to throw water on people.
When you were younger as boys, do you think those trenches are in the condition they are in right now?
No.
Yeah, those trenches were clean. They didn't have the garbage floating and the filth and all that like it has now.
The operator has said to me that our time has come, so let me play some Phagwah.
No, but so here I'd like for us to close off with. I'd like for us to probably sing a little bit of Holy Kalera Govira. Freddie, gonna clap. Yeah, you can throw for me, Freddie. So maybe we can close off with that Holy Kalera Govira or whatever.
Anyone.
Yeah. You ready, Freddie?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Holy Kalera Govira, Yawadame, Holy Kalera Govira.
Holy Kalera Govira,
Yawadame, Holy Kalera Govira. Rama ke haath mein kalak pichkari,
Rama ke haath kalak pichkari,
Lakshmana haath mein majira.
Hey, Lakshmana haath majira, Awadh mein Holy Kalera Govira. Holy Kalera Govira, Awadh mein Holy Kalera Govira. Happy Holi, everybody.
Happy Holi, everybody. Enjoy your Holi and don't overdo.
Enjoyable Phagwah. It's a very, very important calendar date for Guyana because it tends to bring us together. I grew up with everybody playing Phagwah. This has been the Freddie Kissoon Gildarie Show with Akash Persaud. Our guest was one of Guyana's longest serving Pandit, Rabrindranath Persaud, and all the Hindu world in Guyana know him as Pandit Ravi. Nice being with you. We will see you Wednesday coming. As I normally say, Tata, goodbye. Catch you later. Happy Phagwah. Happy Phagwah.